What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Into My GT Entertainment, and I am Joel. Nice to see you here. It's been a while. I think since the last video was going up to Buc-ee's. Yeah, I've been trying to put some stuff out, but life's been getting in the way. The weather has been kind of like this. So every time I get a chance to do something on the weekend, this is what I got to deal with. So I said, screw it. I am going to give you a video today, kind of bridging what has been going on, letting you into some of the stuff that I've been doing. I've been not doing so much car related stuff, but I've been doing some home remodels and upgrades and doing some other stuff, you know, that comes along with my life. It's not always about the cars, unfortunately, but go ahead and watch the intro, and we'll see you in a second. All right, guys, so today is just going to be a kind of one of those videos that I just kind of talk and just go through some things, and you know, one of those deals. Like I said, there's not much car stuff going on right now. As you can see, the weather is kind of you know, I got Mr. Nightwing out here that we're going to take now, because of course, you know, breakfast is in line. She was clean, but she is wet. Minion's there, the Jeep, the truck, of course. You know, I got my beauty here, Wasp, and then we got Storm. And as you can see, a little box here in the corner. Not all of it is here, but I will be making some sort of video with the Quick Jack stuff. I finally went ahead and ordered it. It's on sale for Memorial Day, so I decided to go ahead and grab that and get that squared away. I've been wanting one for years, and I just never had the time or the money to go off and get it. I had the time and found the money, I guess. So went ahead and got that. So I guess you'll be seeing that in videos, you know, of me using that. And if y'all want to see how the setup is with that, there's 800 of them in the freaking, more like 8,000 out in YouTube world. But if y'all want to see me set it up and throw things around the house, I'll do that for y'all. Like I said, it should be all here by Wednesday. But I don't have any particular quick plans for it. Quick plans, Quick Jack, Anyway, but we're gonna go ahead and get into the SUV here and roll over and get some food, and we'll have a discussion along the way, and we'll come back and I'll show you what's been going on around here. Well, all right, everybody, it has been a little while. Like I said at the beginning, gonna go ahead and get some breakfast, because you know, I still eat, right? So gonna hit up the McDonald's, probably get their crispy chicken biscuit. Kind of like that these days. So we're gonna go ahead and get that. But what has been going on? Well, little of nothing, to be honest. Life has kind of gotten in the way again, and like I said, it's by the time I finish my husband duties, father duties, house duties, doing all the duties, right, the time isn't there really to do too much. I get off around 4, you know, I get home about 4:30ish, sometimes 4:45, you know, and then you kind of take care of some of the things, check the mailbox for the bills, feed the cats, wait till the wife gets home, and by the time you eat, it's time to rinse and repeat, right? So it's kind of a lifestyle, you know, of most people. You know, you kind of do it, and that's kind of how it is, right? But it doesn't leave a lot of time to do much other things. I try to get stuff done on the weekends, but then the weekends are crappy. There's no real car events. I'm not in the position right now to go ahead and buy new vehicles for the channel. I can't really do that, and I've kind of done what I've done with the vehicles that I have at the moment. Now, not to say that there's not shit coming and not stuff to do eventually, but as of right now, there's not a lot going on. So with that being said, you know, I've been doing stuff around the house. I've been kind of upgrading some of the stuff, and you know, I'm not with Comcast, y'all know. It's been a while since then, but I was grandfathered in for a while and still as an employee, so that was running out. So I had to go ahead and switch services or providers, or I would have to pay real people money, right? Real dollars. But like I said, I went ahead and switched over to Verizon, and that, where I live now, there's other places, you know, where Derek lives or whatever, there's a little more options of internet service and stuff like that. But where I live, if it's not Comcast, it's Verizon. It's pretty much the two that you're gonna have. So I went ahead and bit the bullet and switched over with that. And anybody that has ever switched ISPs, it's a little more involved. It's not more so of the install and getting it working versus it is getting everything to recognize the new ISP, you know, because you've changed your router, so now you have to change all the stuff that's connected to it, and then everything has to sync into it, and it's not always cut and dry. So that was a good little couple days of sorting all that out. And then I'll tell you something else in a minute, but give me 1 second to grab my food here. All right, I pulled into the McDonald's drive-thru, and it looks like everybody at 7:50 in the morning, 8:50 in the morning, has had the same idea, or they're backed up or slow today. Well, I guess we're gonna find out. But again, with the Verizon thing, everything, you know, was installed pretty easy and it wasn't that bad. But then everything that was hooked to your old ISP has to be switched over. Ring cameras, phones and computers, and all the little things and things that you forget about that you have that are on your freaking network. So I've been kind of working that out, and so far so good. And this is going to be the first video I upload with the new internet, so I'll let you know how that goes on a next video or something, just to let y'all know. Like I said, I got the 1 gig tier, which is what I had with Comcast. The differences between the Comcast and this is their upload. Comcast was always capped at like 40 for upload. This is matched, so it's 1 gig up, 1 gig down. So that might help with processing some of the videos, and maybe I'll do more 4K videos because it won't take as long to do. So we'll kind of see how that works out also. This one won't be that one, but you know, we'll kind of work it out as we go. I've done some stuff around the house also. I had to re-network the house. So I have a smart closet, and I'll show you that too. I should have showed y'all before I put everything back in it, but you'll get the gist of it. But instead of me just rambling, I'm gonna go ahead and grab this food here, and we'll go ahead and continue when we get home, and then we'll go from there, because I got a lot of stuff going on. I'm just trying to put it all into perspective. So we'll see you in a few. Alrighty, food is acquired. They have a new lady at this McDonald's. She's always rude, no matter when I come. Like I said, don't think she likes me. Anyway, but with that being said, like I said, I have a couple things that have been going on in the last month or two. Not work related. I still got the same job. It gets in the way, and sometimes I'm not the happiest there, but you know, you're never going to be happy 100% of the time unless you work for yourself. And then I'm sure there's issues with that also. But nevertheless, we are striving with that, you know, and doing what we need to do there. They have changed some things around there, and I'm getting more responsibility. I got a raise after, you know, being there for you know, 6-7 months. So that's not a bad thing. And so we're getting to where we need to go there, right? So work is okay. Me, I would like to retire tomorrow and just be done with it, to have time to do stuff before I'm too old to do anything fun. Like I said, that's the problem with working all your life, because you work your life away, and then by the time you get off and finally get to that point where you're, hey, I'm done with it, you know, I can sit back and do other things, you're either too old to do it, or, you know, your body's failing on you, or, you know, it's just whatever happens. And I'm not trying to be morbid about things, but it just kind of, it is the way that society is, you know. That's how they have it set up. You know, you work till you're 60, 70 years old, and then they, you know, you wanted to travel while you were young, but you couldn't because you're working all the time trying to make a life for yourself. And then you make that life for yourself, and then by the time you get to the end of it, you're tired, you're worn out, you know, you're not hitting on all 8 cylinders like you used to be, and you know, it's kind of depressing. And that happens to me on Sundays a lot. That's the days that I reflect, because it's the next day that you go to work. At least I have a holiday tomorrow, and you know, I don't have to worry about it. But it just kind of weighs on me sometimes. And like I told Pam, I said I like to retire early, just for the fact to not be in that situation where, you know, you finally get to where you got your life situated, and then something around comes. Because I've already had a heart attack, you know, I've had a triple bypass, and you know, I've experienced things that, you know, in my 40s that most people don't experience. And I know people are way off, you know, worse than I am. You know, they've have been living with things happening, and you know, and I understand that everybody has their story, right? And I'm just telling mine, and you know, y'all can take it for what it is. And you know, sometimes it might be like, okay, he's just kind of whatever, or what have you. But you know, it's kind of, I don't know, it's just one of them situations where, you know, I'm getting tired. I'm getting older, and things are just kind of weighing on me a little more. And like I said, it's just one of them situations where it's just, I'm trying to make a plan for myself. Pam does well off, and I don't think she wants to work the rest of her life either, you know. But am I good enough to say, hey, I'm done with it, let's just go? Not really. Now we do have some stuff in our back pocket that we could probably get away with and doing if we were smart about it. But I am not the smartest fucking tool in the tool chest sometimes, and I do some things kind of sporadically, and sometimes they work out and other times they do not. So I can't really rely on that. And Pam is one of those people that will like to, you know, save her money, right? And you know, do whatever she needs to with that, while I spend all my money. So there's the polar opposite thing, right? The positive and negative to keep you aligned together. But unfortunately, you know, it's a little frustrating because I'm always doing, you know, I'm doing for the family, doing for the house, doing for everybody, doing for my mom. There's always and I'm not talking bad about my family. That's not where I'm going with this. But like I said, it's just, that's just the type of person I am. I'm always trying to be helpful and do what I can for other people. And then, you know, sometimes it doesn't reciprocate the same way. And that's just life. And, you know, I used to have, if you watched me from the beginning of these videos, I used to have a lot more people around me. You know, they have changed their stripes and, you know, changed their ways and done things a little different, or, you know, life has gotten in their way. You know, they've grown up a little bit, because again, me and Pam are a little older and we've been more established while everybody else is trying to get their stuff together. So they probably got their stuff together and everybody is growing up, you know what I'm saying? But we got left behind. Nobody really talks with us anymore, or you know, they got what they could out of the time, and then, you know, we were left behind. And you know, it's okay, we're a little older and I don't mind chilling now. But like I said, sometimes I wish I did have a friend, a good friend, or a best friend, or you know, someone that I could kind of just chill with and do things like back in the old days. And maybe that's just unrealistic, but you know, it is what it is. Well, there's enough of that story, but let me go ahead and park this thing and go in and eat, and we'll continue with this video. All right, everybody, I have eaten, so let's start discussing more other things that are more uplifting versus what I was talking about. Sometimes I just need to talk, and y'all are the people I talk to, right? So anyway, with what's been going on here, the weather has been pretty crappy on the weekends. A couple weekends ago, Pam and I went to OBX. There was a classic car show type deal going on that weekend, muscle cars, all that good stuff. I got some video of that. I may just release that unfinished. I'll just throw an ending on it. But the weather screwed that up. We came home a day early, and you know, it is what it is with that. The show was like Friday, Saturday, and we were supposed to come back Sunday, but we went down there Friday. Everything got messed up on Saturday, so we just came home and we're done with it, right? So that kind of put a damper in there, but I got a little bit of videos of that, so maybe I'll just throw that in on a separate video and just leave it unfinished and just put an end on it and be done with it. So that being done, but I've been working on the house a little bit. I've been getting some things done that I needed to get done prior to. I know I've talked about getting a concrete slab for my tool shed. That is now complete, and I'll go show you all that now. Just walking in my yard here. So as you can see, I have a concrete slab put in, so when I park Wasp in here, I can do stuff. So before I went on that trip, Wasp was in here. It works pretty good, nice and sturdy. You don't have to worry about the wobble on it no more, and it's the whole full length of the opening. The only thing I really need to do is around the edges here, right there. It's just kind of fill it in a little bit and bring it up to the actual lips. That way it's more of a smooth drop in. But for the most part, that is done, and I got that squared away. So that's one thing off of my checklist. Just one. Again, while I'm out here, you did see the quick jack box. I don't know what's in that particular box. I don't know if that's the compressor or what, but there's 3 other pieces coming with it, and I gotta wait till they show up. And then the main reason why I got that, I do work on my own cars, right? I do lift them up, change the wheels, do the brakes, oil changes, you know, the little stuff. So I do work on my own vehicles. I did put in the superchargers on quick jacks that I borrowed from a friend, and it was time for me to get my own. Why? Again, with that getting older stuff, things wear me out a lot quicker than they used to. Pumping up the jack and getting it straight and going under and doing this and that and the other. Trying to cut some time off, right? Trying to cut a little bit of the wear and tear. So the quick jacks are on sale, 15% off this month. Well, at least through Memorial Day. And you know, I got a higher tier. I got the 6,000, I think it's a new one, but I got it with the bundle, which would have cost me more prior to the sale than just getting the jacks by himself. So I got some of that stuff. So once all that comes in, we'll kind of work all that stuff out too. And you know, if you want, I will do a setup video. Put in the comments and let me know if that's something that y'all want to see. If not, you know, that's cool, and we'll just go about it. When we need it, we'll use it, right? And then you'll see it in the video then. Like I said, it's not bought for a video purpose. It's just bought for a Joel purpose. So anyway, so let me go show you what I've been doing in the house, I suppose. Okay, so again, as I was discussing, I used to work for Comcast, and I used to have the Comcast, what is it, the infrastructure, society, network, whatever, you know, I had all that going on. So when you switch from one company to another, that all has to kind of change also, correct? So the modem that I used to have was over here at this desk. So what I decided while I was planning all this out was moving the modem to this area right in here, the centralized location, because that's where they always say if you're doing the Wi-Fi, that's the best place for it. So I was just kind of looking around, and I was thinking, well, I have a smart closet where all the wiring and everything come into play. So that is in here, and sorry, it's a little messy at the moment, but not as bad as it was before we started doing the work. So in here, you'll see in this corner, you'll see the switch in there. You see the wires in there. I'll go into the back to a smart box, which is all networked and everything out to the fiber outside. So as you can see, I have this tube coming in and going out this way. Well, this is where the idea came into play, where I was like, well, I needed to have the modem centralized. So I went ahead and put this out here. Bought this frame off of Amazon. Like I said, it's a little cheapy thing, but you know, it works for what I need to do, and maybe I'll upgrade that a little bit as I go along and later on. But the modem sits here in the central location, and it seems to work pretty good. I do have a mesh network, so it does have repeaters or extenders out in different areas. I got one in the tool shed for the cameras and stuff out there, and I got one upstairs on the 3rd floor. Verizon did come with their own. I think only one thing linked to it. It's kind of a weird situation. But then again, it came through the wall and it came up, and then it's a nice little clean little install right there. And like I said, I'm working on finding someone to paint this room, so that may get done up a little better one day. And when I say paint this room, it is paint this room. So like I said, it's not a small little job. I did have a guy back in the past to do it, but things didn't align at the time. So that's one of the things I'm trying to take care of. I want to kind of get this cleaned up a little bit. So like I said, with this being said, paint wise, you got to watch where you end and begin. So like I said, where do you start and where do you stop? So is it like down here, up and through the hallway, or do you try to cut it off at the corners and then just have like your facing areas done? I don't know. We're just working that out as we go along. So that is one of the things that I've been working around with, doing all the internet and getting all that squared away up here, and you know, just trying to get some house stuff done, right? While I had the time. All right, let me go show you some of the subtle changes in the man cave. So you come in, you go up the stairs. It's my Spidey picture. Coming around here, you got my PCs. Turn on some lights around here. So if y'all haven't seen my setups before, this is my main computer right here. It's pretty nice. I like it. Like I said, this one I just I did it to have my Nightwing going on. As you can see, I got Nightwing photo there, my little bobblehead. So this is that PC. And I bought it and built it, I guess. I bought it and kind of built it in the way I wanted it to. And then it was supposed to be for a gaming setup. I don't game on it, so it's just kind of been my everyday computer, you know, things that I search with, and it's built to do a lot of things. So like I said, it is good for what it is. This one over here, this is the one that I usually do all my editing, video, all that good stuff here. And And the reason why I use the laptop is because if I ever travel, I just pop the laptop with me and all the info is there. I have a built-in hard drive right there at the corner. I've got everything set up the way I wanted to. And then, like I said, when I'm on the go, I just undo it, go do what I got to do. It works out good. All right, coming up here to the front of my media room is my new furniture. I really like this couch. I saw it a couple months ago, and I've always wanted a reclining set, and I never really pulled the trigger on it. And then I saw it in one of the ads or whatever. I'm like, well, let me go ahead and change it up a little bit. So I went ahead and bought this and got it delivered 2 days later, and it is great. Both ends recline. The center part comes down as you see it right now. This part is cup holders, charging stations, and back over here you have lights. So you can have it dim down and have your lights started, and they swivel. So it is very nice piece of furniture. It's built really good. The leather on it feels almost like car leather. So it's kind of like that inclination of how that feels to y'all. So, and then again, when you're not using it for the center part, you just lift it up. Boom, there's your third seat right there, right? So it's just like the back of a car and looks pretty good. And like I said, it's comfy. I have many times fallen asleep over here watching TV. So maybe it is too comfy. Who knows? Back to the network thing. The only problem that I have with Verizon versus the Comcast had their Wi-Fi boxes, but if you were having issues with Wi-Fi boxes, you could use Ethernet and it would work the same way. Verizon does not. It's just solely Wi-Fi. I think their older system had where you can use Ethernet to it, but that is the only problem I have with the system. On the third floor, where I am now, my media room, you know, this is where I watch on my TV. This is where I kind of hang out most of the time for myself. I watch movies. When I do have people over, this is where we kind of be. But with that being said, I needed to put a repeater, an extender up here. So it works out. I've used the Nighthawk mesh network that I got going on, and it seems to work pretty good. Now, I was thinking, for y'all techie guys, I was thinking about switching out the main router, the Verizon one, and going to a Nighthawk one. They're big boys. I think it's like around 500 bucks, $600. I think Amazon's got it for $550 now. But I don't know if it's worth the money to switch it out. It's supposed to cover, you know, 3,500 square feet within itself with no repeaters, and, you know, give you the stronger this, that, and the other. But the system's limited by what it's limited, right? So I'm at 1-1. So it gives me that right now. So that's where I'm at. I don't know money-wise if it makes any sense to do. It may be future-proof, you know, because with the repeaters, you know, I got Wi-Fi 7, if y'all know what that is. You got your 5G, your 6 now, your 6E, and then 7 is the new hotness, right? So it's running off of those off the repeaters. So sometimes when my phone or something switches from it, it'll have a lag or it'll lock up or do something weird, but that might just be part of the deal. But yeah, so that is part of the network stuff. Everything is in play. Everything is squared away now. The main reason why I haven't switched was for the reason that I would have to go around and redo all my things again to the new ISP. So like I said, it's just, you know, when you do the ISSN, I think is what it's the number of what your Wi-Fi is. You know, if you change it or whatever, you need to change everything that goes along with it. So it is what it is with that. So maybe I get bored one day and do it, but I'm not bored yet. So kind of happy with the way things are. When inputting that new couch up in there, I went ahead and brought the old couch that was up there down here. Now, it looks messy, but it fits the room good. She put stuff on the ends because the cats decided to use it as a scratching post. They didn't do it upstairs because they really don't go up there. Only my cat goes up there. But down here, free game, right? So that's why it kind of looks the way it does. But it's really comfy and it's nice when I'm actually doing stuff on this computer. Yes, I got many PCs in this house. This used to be where I used to work when I had my job from home. I would have the laptop here, PC, whatever, and you know, this would be solely, excuse me, my workstation. So, you know, I would travel from there to here. It wasn't too bad. I didn't get in too many road rage incidents, but you know, so this is why I worked here. And now this is just kind of a thing. Yeah, I guess I do my banking and stuff like that, you know, and stuff like this. This is a PC that I built long ago. It doesn't even take updates anymore. The light's not even on in it right now, so I don't even know what's going on with it. But nonetheless, there's supposed to be a red light going around with it, but yeah, it's not doing that today. So anyway, so like I said, we're just kind of, we use this to do the home finances and stuff like that. And you know, there's a printer here and a printer upstairs, and it's just kind of one of the little hideaway places. I like it. All right, everybody. I had to restart the computer to get the red glow back on. But anyway, that is what I have going on here with this PC. Like I said, this is just one, like I said, that I do all my banking and stuff on, and you know, it's just kind of here up in the corner. And if I need to jump on the PC real quick, there's one on every floor, so you know, sometimes there's two. Depending what you need, it's definitely overkill. It's just one of those things. I went and built this one. I built the one upstairs, and just kind of, I fall in and out of hobbies sometimes, so that's kind of what happens. All right, and down here again we have another workstation PC. This is mainly where the wife works. She works from home a couple times a week, so this is kind of where she sets up. She plugs in her laptop right over here, and then has the whole ample area. She wants to watch TV while she works, she can. She has a phone charger, she's got speakers, she can do what she needs to. This is an older computer also, but works fine. Still updating and still doing whatever, so, but it works good for down here. As you can see, I got my little Star Wars theme going on in there. So this works great. This used to be my daughter's computer, and like I said, she got a new PC at the same time I did, and so we just went ahead and brought this down here and made some office space with it. Now these are my rent-free squatters. We got Loki right there. If you ever come over, you'll never see him because he always runs away. You got Mittens. He is the house terror. He is why I have to change a lot of things, repair some bathrooms, and do some other things. But, you know, we love him nonetheless, right? Yeah, I know. I'm bothering you. So we come over here. You got Cooper. Cooper is kind of chill right at the moment. He's just kind of here. You want to say anything, Cooper? Not today? All right. Yeah, I heard you. And then my girl. Oh, here is my bundle of fun, my loaf. Yes, this is my girl. She wants to say hi. So anyway, she is the other rent-free native here. But like I said, this is what we would do. Yes, oh, Cooper is talking now. I have mentioned him and now he is yapping away. So let me leave the room. And just circling back to this. This is that shelf that I bought on Amazon. I think it was like 20, 30 bucks. Works pretty good. And if you don't have the cable there, you could shut them down so you don't have to have stuff there. But like I said, right now, this is what this is for. Holds up my modem, does what it needs to. Maybe I'll put something here, or it has, you know, maybe I can put a camera there. going towards the front door, you know, security. Who knows what's going to happen with it, but yeah. So let me move over to some automotive talking now, since I've done house and everything else. Let me go for that. Alrighty, so now car wise, what y'all do come here to see that I don't really have much to show you. Storm here. We got some things that we have to take care of. Storm, it's nothing major, but it's something that has progressed over the winter and is really bad now. And it's the interior of this car. The door right here, this panel has come unglued, and yes, this is why it's all taped. I'm trying to find a good fix for it. I don't know if I can just peel it down, respray glue, and get it back up, and then that'll be the end of that. She's been after me since winter to get this done. I really haven't got around to it. I haven't felt the desire of messing with it too much, but like I said, it's on the things to do list. Gotta get it done. So if any of y'all have experienced that in your 12, 13, 14, let me know what y'all did to take care of that, because it's something new and I'll take care of it. I just don't know what the right path is for that. Some people say pull it down, clear all the stuff off, re-glue and pop it back in. Some people say that it's more of a pain. I don't know. It is what it is, right, with that. So I don't mind taking a challenge and taking care of it. You know, if I fuck it up, I'll just buy a new panel and then we'll be okay. But that is with Storm. Coming over to Wasp. Wasp is pretty much the way I want her to be. Now, she does have a little noise coming from the drivetrain, and it's nothing serious. I know what it is. There's a drive shaft loop that's under there, and if I can find the picture and remember, I will add it here. So with that drive shaft loop there, if you notice the two ends on it, where the O2 sensors are, they're really close, so it vibrates sometimes at a certain RPM. But like I said, it's not a serious thing. I know what it is. I know how to correct it. Like I said, the only thing is annoying, and it's not something that, you know, you can easily take care of. But I will have quick jacks, so that might be something that I can take care of with the quick jacks. Put the car up, get under there, and, you know, get that knocked out and taken care of, and maybe separate it or take it off completely. I don't know quite yet what my idea is with that. But other than that little issue, the car itself is good. There's nothing I want to change on this car. Like I said, it is fast. It handles great. Everything I did to build this car is pretty much the way it is, right? I don't have any issues with it. Sounds good. Now, down the road, I might put a stereo in it, just to do something a little different. It's not going to be as elaborate as what I had in my Electra. It's not going to be that kind of crazy, but everything costs so much money these days. And, you know, I tried to get with the people that did my other one, and, you know, they're working out some numbers and stuff, but, you know, I don't want to spend $6 to $8 grand on a system. I don't want to do that if I don't have to. Like I said, to me, it doesn't make any sense. The car itself has 7,000 miles on it. I've had it for 2 years, working on year 3 right now. And is it 2 years now? I got 13, 14, 24, 25. So 2 years this year. So in October. But I got it in 23. So anyway, I got it 23 for 24, but you know how this shit works. So it's either gonna be 2 to 3 years. Either way, see how my mind's working? I wanna go ahead and, you know, I lost train of thought. Hold that thought. Okay, we're back talking about the stereo. So I don't know if I want to spend that type of money. I'm not in the car that much. It is nice to have it. So we'll kind of play with that. Like I said, I don't want to have an elaborate system, but I like to have something that's a little cleaner. When I'm on the interstate with this car, with the windows down, you have to have the stereo almost halfway or a little more. So it's just kind of, and then when you get to a stop sign, it's like, rah! So, you know, just trying to alleviate some of that, put some sound deadening in it, kind of bring the sound into the car. So it is a Mustang. It is rear seat delete. So you're going to have a little accent noise, right? So it's all good. It really is. With Jeep Wagon here, we really haven't done much. I just replaced the battery. Well, Pam bought the battery, Joel replaced the battery. Let's put it that way. We got that done. It's a 21. She's probably going to need some new tires here shortly. They're getting down. Not too terrible yet, probably another year or so. But when we change the tires on this, we'll probably change the rims. Get her something that she kind of likes a little more. She doesn't complain. She uses this Jeep all the time. So she loves this thing, and I let her do what she wants to do with this thing. She did clean it up the other day, but of course, white gets dirty, and you know, when it's been raining and it sits outside, it's going to be what it is. The only thing that we've done to this car is, you can see it has a little bit of a poke on the wheels. We put spacers on it, and they're big spacers at that. I think they're 1-inch spacers on here, maybe 2-inch spacers. You can see them right there. So we got the spacers on there now. I've had them on there for quite a bit, and she likes that look a little better than with the wheels sucked in. But other than that, this is pretty much done. I did put the hothead headliner in there a while back, and what that is, it gives the automatic roof a headliner. It's not just the actual fabric. So it's a drop down, it's a headliner that sticks to it, and it folds up with the thing, and it looks good and kind of gets away some of that noise, adds a little bit of insulation in there. And there's also a spiderweb net, I think is what it's called, which when she has the top all the way back and everything, it keeps the debris from coming in. It's like a little net that goes across it, but lets the sun in. So that's been on there for a while. I have never taken all the doors off. I've never taken all the panels off. Told her one day I'm just going to take her driver door off and leave it like that. But like I said, the weather here is so fickle. I know it's a Jeep, but you know, Jeeps aren't what they used to be. They're freaking got all sorts of electronics in there, and I don't know how waterproof everything is. And so, you know, trying to avoid issues. But one day maybe we'll take everything apart and see what it looks like. Nightwing. Oh, Nightwing, my favorite ST SUV. Love this car. I mean, there's nothing else I can say about it. I was thinking about selling it though, maybe getting a newer Explorer, but A, I don't like the colors. B, it's pretty much the same thing. The interior is a little different, but I would end up doing the same thing I did to this. Intercooler, exhaust, you know, wheels, tires, a suspension. I would end up doing the same thing, probably getting the same result because it's the same motor. So nonetheless, I kind of veered away from that. I like Nightwing the way it is. Like I said, it's 511 horsepower, all-wheel drive on 93. I do have a E30 E50 tune, so I can bump it up, so you know, at least 550 horsepower on this thing the way it sits, without getting into any injector mods and fuel system or anything like that. So for a daily driver, it does great. It hauls the family, hauls the friends, hauls ass when it wants to. And like I said, it looks pretty good. Like I said, a lot of people said I need to take the roof rails off, but you know, I think it adds character to it. It has a family meets functional fastness. Again, I have the steps rails to it, you know, but does it need it? No. Does it sit low enough? Yes. But like I said, it's just an added thing that I wanted to get done with it, and I do like the way it looks. Like I said, this car is one of my favorites. It's got I just clicked 17,000 miles on it, and it's a 22, so you can see I still don't drive a lot. And a lot of that comes from the aspect I used to work from home, so I could buy vehicles and not drive them anywhere because I didn't have to. I work from home, but now I do travel. I have to go to Norfolk on Thursday. Why? For whatever reason, but I have to go down to Norfolk for work, for a training class. And like I said, that'll put a couple 100 miles on the car just because I don't drive company vehicles. Now they are trying to get me one, and that would be cool, but if I don't by then, you know, here we go, right? So Nightwing is good to go. It's got the exhaust, it's got the look to it, everything is great, everything is functioning. Like I said, sometimes you get a little bit of gremlins. I got a noise in the car, interior noise. I don't know exactly where it's coming from, but you know, things kind of loosen up as time goes by. Just because you don't drive them all the time doesn't mean they're going to stay new. So, you know, it's kind of the way it is. But like I said, this car, I don't foresee going anywhere. I like it. I love the functionality. I love the space in it. It fits me well. Dodge Ram 1500, nameless, just the white Dodge. I drive this probably 85% of the time, just because work has a gravel parking lot with a crater in the middle of it. One day I'll have to show y'all what that looks like, but the truck is a lot more functional for that. And I can put 87 in this. Well, that needs 93, and gas here in Richmond now is creeping up to $5 for Supreme, and then, you know, mid-4s for regular. Unless you got a Costco BJ or Sam's car, you can get a little bit of a discount, but then you got to wait in crazy lines. But nevertheless, this is what I drive most of the time. I did give her a nice bath the other day, cleaned her all up. If you watch my socials, you would have seen that. Like I said, I love this truck. I did my own little flavors to it, you know, headlights, fog lights, wheels, tint, tonneau cover, side step to it. I changed the side step rails on there. It did have a set on there. They were kind of rusted out looking, so we went ahead and changed these over with the Romic ones. As you can see, I like the Romic product. That I like this car. It's blacked out. It's very functional. We small people, so it's a big truck for us. So, you know, but it works. I did exhaust on it, a little side step to it, and like I said, I think it has a clean look to it. Nothing too fancy, but you know, if you need to freaking haul stuff, throw things away, you got the truck. It's very functional for this family. Like I said, nothing else is getting done to this. I'm not putting a lift kit, I'm not putting bigger wheels or tires. I think it has a very good stance the way it is. The color combination with the black and white has the e-torque on there, but you know, we can't all get perfect, right? But this is kind of that. Just because we're mentioning cars, this is Sydney's Escape ST line. She's happy with it, nothing to do. I did the same thing, put the little step stools to it, and like I said, more so is to clean the roof or stuff like that. But you know, it just adds a different look. It's just, you could pick it out of a crowd, right? So we don't do nothing with that. That's her deal. Well, we got Minion here. Brandon's 2015 Mustang GT with Identity Crisis. Thinks it's a GT 500. It has a blower on it. You know, it's never really clean. It kind of reminds me of his room, never clean. Nonetheless, that's a him thing. He doesn't make videos anymore, it seems like. He always says he wants to and never does, but you know, I get it. Sometimes it's just stuff going on and you really don't have the time. But he has tuned and retuned, and he still has a misfire in this, I believe. Maybe he got it squared away on the last one, because he redid. He had valve cover leak on it, so he put the GT 500 valve covers on there, so they're aluminum. Did a tuned up the car, not got a tune, and then retuned it with his tuner. So I don't know if they hammered out all that stuff. It still has a weird idle when it starts. It'll sit there, turn on and rev up really high and then settle itself back down. But I'm talking about like 2 grand high. It's like, and then it'll settle back down to, you know, 8 or 9 grand, 8 or 900 at that point, and then be fine the rest of the time. But like I said, 100,000 miles on that car, so you know, it could be anything. It could be a little vacuum leak. It could be, you know, just itself being itself, right? Anyway, he does have parts for it. He does have a brand new VMP coolant tank that he wants to put on there. He does have some side skirts to add on. So he does have a little things that he wants to do. They've been sitting in the living room in the foyer. I don't know if you saw it up there when I first saw the foyer. They've been sitting there for a couple months, so we'll see when he gets around to it. It's always, Dad, I need this or I need that. So let's see how long it takes him to do it on his own, or not have a friend do it for him. So guys, that leads us to this. What am I going to do car related for this channel? Well, I tell you what I'm not going to do. I am not going to go purchase a vehicle just to build a vehicle. It doesn't make any financial sense to me. I do not make money on this. If I post a video or 2 or 3, I might get, you know, $100, maybe a couple months with this. And it's not that, I mean, I don't constantly post, and I know I don't put in the effort that I need to with it if I really am serious about it. But to spend 60, 70, 80, 90, upwards to $100,000 for a car now, you know, just to get 2,000 views, it doesn't make any sense. I'm happy with my fleet, and I've thought about upgrading and changing things around, even going to maybe some Audis, maybe doing some import stuff. Not really imports, but you know, just changing the flavor. I've even thought about trading this in my ST, getting a vet, since I do drive the truck a lot. So you know, it's kind of, what do I really want to get myself into? Do I want to have, you know, a $600, $700, $800 a month payment? Do I want to deal with all that crap? Do I want to get into the I'm not going to mess with it, but I'm going to mess with it type situation, you know, where I have to go into it and start doing stuff? Like I said, I'm happy with Wasp, and there's always room to change things around. The wing, you know, wheels I change all the time, you know, so there's stuff still to do, and the car is fairly new, you know, so it's still kind of, maybe they'll come out with some stuff and whatever. There's other people that have gotten new things that we'll probably be collabing with and kind of playing around with stuff like that. But when that happens, you'll know then too. But anyway, I don't know exactly what the car situation is around here. There's nothing that is jumping out at me that I want. I'm actually in a point in my life where I'm kind of content with what I have going on. Like I said, I got my SUV for, you know, hauling and you know, family moving. I mean, you know, stuff for groceries, and it works out pretty good. I got my sports car, my Mustang, my go fast car, my fun weekend car, my get up and go, right? So I got that. I have the truck, so if I need to go to the dump or do some hauling or moving some stuff around, or you know, buying purchases and having things back and forth, I got that. So I'm pretty much rounded on what I need to do. And like I said, I think I'm going to emphasize more of my time and funds to getting this house corrected, you know, just updating things around here. The house itself is 12 years old. Is it 12? 10? No, it is, let's see, 8 to 2000, let's see, 2008 to 20, that's 10, another, so we're almost 15 years into this house now. So yeah, we're maybe a little more. So yeah, we moved here 2010. The house is built in 2008. We were the first people here. So whatever math that adds up to be, my brain's kind of squashed today. So yeah, there's things in here that kind of needed some attention. The floors are hardwood, but the cats have ruined them. So we kind of need to get them resanded and re-varnished and all that. The bathroom down here, the cats have ruined. We need to just do a total tear down there. Walls, floor, everything. And then get that all redone. I'm thinking about maybe doing some tile in there so this situation won't happen again. So if the cats decide to pee on it or do something, you know, it doesn't fuck it up too much. You know, carpet. The carpet here, again, the carpet needs to be replaced in the house. Oop, got into a dark spot, sorry. It needs to be replaced, but it's like, do I want to spend the money to have the cats tear that apart? Because everything is a scratching post to them. And new carpet would definitely be a scratching post. So, you know, do I want to put maybe wood floors on the 3rd floor or a 2nd floor? You know, where we move around and then leave just the bedrooms carpeted. So, I mean, there's a lot of choices and a lot of things going on that we need to take care of. Good thing is I don't have to worry about the outside of the house. It's vinyl. There is the shutters that I do want to paint. I've been wanting to take care of this. At this point, I probably just buy new shutters. I finally got my screen doors. Back here, I need to paint around the back door because all the paint's just popping off. It's kind of a ugly situation when you see it, but yeah, if you notice the door right there, you know, it's all freaking just peeling off. And it's weird, you pull it off in sheets. So I got to go ahead and get that painted. So everything that looks silver needs to be painted. So that needs to be scraped down and repainted white. So we need to take care of that. Pam has her swim spa that she bought a couple years ago. So that's working fine. We got our little outdoor eating area, our grill. We have our Blackstone over there, a catch-all over here because every house has 15 catch-alls, at least this one does. Our swim spa, and as you can see, the yard itself is coming in now. So some things need to be taken care of around this house. So that's kind of where I'm headed and where I've been kind of going. And as car stuff comes up, I will go ahead and post and do what I need to do. Or if you want to see Joel get into some crazy ass house renovations, I got that going on too. So again, I don't know where this channel is going to go for a little while, or maybe it's just going to be a hiatus till I get things taken care of and get my life straight again. And like I said, the hardest part about doing everything is having the time and having the weather to complete. Here we are going to go into June now, and it's freaking, I'm wearing a hoodie because it's 60 degrees here. So you go figure that part out, right? So like I said, summer's gonna just off and switch on, and then you go have that, but then we'll go have storms every evening and everything else. So I don't know what the world's coming to be honest. But like I said, vehicle wise, this is what I got going on. This is what I'm happy with. And like I said, there's nothing that has popped out or come out that I'm saying, ooh, I need to go get. I don't want to get a GT500. I don't want to get a 350. What I have is kind of equivalent to that because of the stuff I've done to it. So I'm just trading it for a payment. And I don't need it. I don't really drive the one I have that much, you know. I just clean it up, drive it here and there, and then that's kind of it. So it doesn't seem financially sound for me to go ahead and do that. I don't see the point of spending, you know, X amount of dollars to get a 350 that's going to be sitting in the same spot that Wasp is sitting. And Wasp is done. Wasp has got the supercharger. Wasp has got the suspension. Wasp has got the ground effects. Wasp has got everything that I wanted. You know, people say I need to put Euros on it. I don't want Euros. I like the color scheme the way it is. And you never know. Maybe one day I'll get ballsy and just wrap the whole car and start with a whole new kind of color scheme with it. Who knows? Doubtful. But you never know, right? It's something weirder shit has happened. So with that being said, I am going to go ahead and log off right now. Like I said, I don't know what the next video is. Maybe, like, again, the video I started in OBX last month, or the middle of this month. No, it was the first of this month, actually. We went down, like I said, we went to the OBX, and, you know, we're going down there for the car show. We went down there, we saw a little bit, but then it rained all weekend and it was just kind of a mess. And as we couldn't do beach stuff, we couldn't, you know, so we just came home early, and it is what it is. But anyway, enough of this. I know it's a long video, me just yapping away, but I just wanted to touch base. I am still here. I am still around. And if there's any suggestions of what y'all like to see, again, I did mention, you know, maybe with Quick Jacks, when that gets awed here, maybe I'll show you all how to put it together if y'all want. Show y'all some of the perks of having your own lift in your own garage that is portable. So, you know, it's not one that's bolted down. It's not one that's, you know, that's seized up. And now you can't be lifting that with it per se. You can get away with this and that and everything else, and probably the Jeep too, but you can't really lift that truck. So, and anyway, if I try to lift the truck, it probably wouldn't fit because of that other screen door I have going on. Nevertheless, give me some suggestions of what y'all want to do. Like I said, I'm usually up for it. It might take me a little while to get things done, but I'm here to do what I can do for y'all. And like I said, I do appreciate the couple people that have hit me up in the thing saying, where'd you go? I miss your videos and what have you. And I'm still here. I'm not gone. Like I said, it's just not a lot going on. And like I said, I don't want to just make a video to say, hey, I made a video. Hey, I just made a video. Anyway, y'all have a good holiday, Memorial. Remember what it's for. It's not just a day off. Go ahead with those people that serve, and, you know, give them their props, and, you know, remember the ones that gave us the life that we can. So I can sit here and talk about the vehicles and everything else that I've talked about. They gave us the freedoms to do what we need to do. And then knocking on the door, we have Independence Day coming too. So, you know, we got a couple holidays coming in and out, so maybe things will happen and we'll see where we go with that. But anyway, y'all be good to each other. Have a great holiday, and we will catch you on the next video.